Start the stream. Jeez.
There we go.
Let's make sure the stream is running.
They gave the
Yes, sir. Alright. I need to go tweet it out everywhere. I forgot about that.
Hell yeah.
Twitch. Why don't I just copy it?
How-
Still think we need the music from NFL Street.
Yeah. Just
Bam.
work on getting the copyrights to that. That'll be fun.
I'm sure you can use it for free.
Yeah, you just have to lawyer up.
Yeah. I was gonna say that whoever made that song probably doesn't care about getting the copyright shit from it, but they probably are like poor now, so they probably do. Most likely.
Alright. Welcome to, what is it, week 11? We've only got a few more of these to go.
Yeah.
We're all tired here. Even though with the time change it's actually later than it used to be. We are exhausted, but we're going to do this for you. We're going to start with our start sit talk. We have a lot of, I think this is probably the most interesting week of fantasy we've had so far, in my opinion. There's just so many, like, who do I start? There's so many games I think they're going to be high scoring. I'm excited to watch football this week.
I'm nervous to watch football this week.
Well, I mean, who do the Seahawks play? Or they have a bye.
Yeah.
So you get to watch the Rams lose again?
That's part of it.
First up, for a start sit is Brian Hill, the starting running back currently in Atlanta. Kramer, it seems like you have some strong opinions about him. Picking him up before people even knew what a Brian Hill was.
Yeah, I picked him up a couple weeks ago in Dynasty. I was just looking at that backfield, and this was, I think it was right before Ito Smith even really got hurt. Or maybe it was right around the time Ito Smith got hurt. But I actually drafted him in draft 2 and then dropped him and picked him back up again. But I just think he was far superior of a back to Ito Smith. Basically, everyone's a far superior back to Ito Smith. And that was between Quadri Olson and him. And I thought he already had a year in the system, so I figured he had a better chance at getting the job if Devonta Freeman were to get hurt, which came to be. And I was hoping this offense was going to be a little bit more high-powered and, better at the start of the season, but it's not as good now. But, I mean, I think you play him this week against Carolina, who's a pretty bad rush defense. They've given up, like, the number one running back performance on multiple occasions. And just the volume that he's going to get is going to be good enough to definitely be able to start him.
Yeah, I think you should be starting him. Now, who do you start him over? Maybe another question. Let's say you have a Tevin Coleman or Raheem Mostert or Matt Breida, all of which are questionable. You would sacrifice playing one of them to know your game Brian Hill today, right?
Yeah, your upside might be capped with Brian Hill, but you're going to get a ton of volume, and with the 49ers back, you never know who's going to really go off that week.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit scary when everyone's questionable. Someone could just tweak an ankle again or something like that and be out for the rest of the week, and they have enough backs to not really have to worry about it. So I think the guaranteed volume that Brian Hill has, I'd play him probably over all those guys.
Keep an eye on Quadre Olson. I drafted him in our Dynasty League, and that's because I really liked his college tape. And he's finally going to be active in this game because they have to put him in. And I'm just curious to see how he does. Obviously, for my Dynasty team. Yeah, for my Dynasty team's sake, I hope he plays incredible and looks better, but we'll see. Moving on to number 2, we have Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson. So they're taking on the Jets. The Jets' run defense is middle of the road. Now that Geis is back, they're splitting time. However, Chris Thompson's out, so he's not going to be stealing any of the third down work or anything. I imagine that's going to go to Geis. Do you feel comfortable starting either of them? The Jets are not a good team.
Yeah.
The Redskins like running the ball.
Neither are the Redskins.
They are the Redskins. Or the Washington Redacted, as many people call them now.
R words, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's Darius Geis, man. How the mighty have fallen from that first preseason game of his, where he just looked incredible for a couple touches, then goes down and tore his ACL.
Well, he looked good in like this. I think he looked fine until he got injured after 5 carries again.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a roller coaster. All the hype was building up on him again, and then just fucking drops the bottom off of him again as he gets injured. Apparently, he's very injury prone. If he's already had 2 injuries and he's played not even a single game in his NFL career. So I'm actually excited to watch him today. I mean, it's gonna be very interesting to watch because he's coming off these injuries. Is he gonna be able to like actually move, or is he gonna get 5 carries and hurt himself again? But I think he's startable and probably as a flex play. I wouldn't put a ton of confidence in him to like have him as my running back 2 over some of these guys.
Oh
like,
yeah, of course. It's more of like a RB3 kind of.
Yeah, I'd definitely start Brian Hill over him. I'd start probably all the 49ers backs over him that are playing. So, but Adrian Peterson, I think, man, he's just been like so consistently getting touches. It's hard to bet against that volume, but I think they'll probably start moving it over more towards Geis now.
Well, here's my logic. First of all, I think Geis is an incredible running back. If he stays healthy, I think he's one of the best running backs in the league, like as a pure talent standpoint. You're moving to Dwayne Haskins while Case Keenum's healthy, which means you just want to see what Dwayne Haskins can do. Why would you play Adrian Peterson over Darius Geis if you're already giving up on the season? Like, why not see if we need to go out and get another running back? Poor Washington. This will be like the 8th one they've drafted. But you might as well see if Geis is good.
I might just be trying to make sure he stays fucking healthy and doesn't tear another ACL.
But the thing is, if he's going to get hurt again at that point, it's like you just got to give up on him. It's not like your proven star back who gets healthy where it's like, okay, we're not going to play him. That'd be stupid. You don't know what you have. You don't know if he's even capable of playing in the NFL without getting hurt, so you have to put him out there.
They drafted another back. They still have freaking Bryce Love.
They do have Bryce Love. I forgot about that.
Just gets another injury-prone
all-star
back.
If Geis gets hurt this game, Bryce Love's stock just goes through the roof in Dynasty, in my opinion.
Yeah. Take a peek real quick. Who has Bryce Love?
I think it's Cameron or Hunter. So here's a question for you, Kramer. Totally abstract, has nothing to do with one of my Yahoo fantasy teams. Who would you start out of these players? Keep in mind I already am starting Melvin Gordon. Kenny Stills at Baltimore, Devontae Parker at Buffalo, Austin Eckler versus Kansas City and Mexico City, or Darius Geis versus the Jets. Start 2 of those players. And I need a lot of points, and I'm already starting Gordon, so I don't know if I want to start Eckler, but I think I might. I probably should.
Yeah, it might be a good play. Devontae Parker's been so good. It's scary to say his name.
Yeah, even though
It's
he's
like,
only going up against Tre'Davious White. Last time he went up against Tre'Davious White, he had. If he would have caught a touchdown, he would have had an incredible game. He was like 6 for 101 or something like that.
yeah, didn't he? Wasn't that a game he like dropped the ball in the end zone when he was like wide open
I
too?
mean, he does that every game, so
Yeah.
you just gotta take that.
Yeah, I'd probably start Devontae Parker
Uh huh.
and who are the other three? Austin
Stills, Eckler,
Stills.
guys.
Guys. Yeah, even with starting Gordon, I think if you double up those backs, it gives you like, okay, if one of them goes off.
Well, it's tough because I've Keenan Allen too. It's just like I have so much of the Chargers, and I need a big. If this was against
I mean,
one of,
it's a good defense to play all your players against.
yeah, all right, I'm gonna go with Eckler. You convinced me. If Kane Stills goes off against Baltimore, I'm gonna be mad. Um,
Le'Veon Bell active, Marquise Brown active, Ty Johnson active, Demarius Thomas active, Dante Jackson active, Snacks Harrison active.
I love how
Ryan
we call him
Harrison,
Snacks Harrison like that's his real name. Is that his
Yeah.
real name? That's not his real name.
I think so.
I don't. There's only his parents named him Snacks. That's a
The
nickname.
one kid named fucking
It is.
Taco.
Yeah, it's Damon here. Damien here. Well, Taco.
Oh.
That's beautiful. You know.
My parents named me Kramer.
Yeah, because they like Seinfeld.
No, they like guitars.
Oh, okay. All right, moving on. Mike Williams. Speaking of the one Charger I don't have on that roster,
Pick 'em up.
We talked about starting all your players against the Chargers. Where's your confidence level, Mike Williams?
He's been like really quietly doing a lot better, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So he's just been like kind of flying under the radar. I haven't even like paid much attention to him. If I look at his last couple weeks, I guess he's been like mediocre. 6.5. Yeah, 3 for 55. 3 for 100 and oh no, that's 2 for 55, 3 for 111, 3 for 69, 4 for 47, 5 for 72. What's incredible is he has no touchdowns on the season.
He
You know,
had
like the
10
whole
last
point,
year.
like everyone thought he was going to get like 10 touchdowns this year.
I had him at 8,
Yeah, I think I had him right there too, like at 9.
which
And-
means these next 1, 2, 3, 4, he's gonna get like 2 a
Those are
game.
fucking stacked. All right, pick him up, everyone. It's probably too late now, but
But yeah, the one reason I actually brought this up is I was looking, and while he has had the last 2 games have been good, with the new offensive coordinator, he's only getting 3 targets a game against 2
Yeah.
defenses that are not particularly
Man.
good.
Oakland, yeah, those are
Bef-
2+ matchups.
Before he was averaging 8.7, I think. So
Ever since Hunter Henry got back,
that
he's
too,
just
he hasn't been.
it's confusing. Like Philip Rivers, I think maybe it's his arm angle can't throw a trajectory to a ball to a guy that tall
Uh-huh.
because he'll like just get picked off.
Of course.
He has to start it super low when he throws to a really tall guy. So it's just like gonna get batted down at the line. But when he throws at a short guy, he can just piss missile that thing in at a 45-degree angle off the side of his body.
I know people say Philip Rivers is always thrown like that, but I swear in 2016 it got way worse. Like it just like it went to looking like a T-ball like little 4-year-old trying to throw a baseball.
Man, he like it's funny whenever I watch him, I swear he throws like as hard as he possibly can on like every throw because his motion is so bad. And
Yeah.
like it's so funny watching him compared to like watching Russ. Like Russ will throw these like nice little lofty deep balls that don't even look like he's really throwing it that hard. Then you go over to Philip Rivers and he's throwing a 5-yard out route and he looks like he's putting his whole fucking body into it to make it go 3 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
All right, so here's an interesting one. Sammy Watkins or Mike Williams in this game?
Man. uh,
I'm gonna go with the targets coming from Patrick Mahomes. I know people have
that's
been,
so crazy that he's been getting that many targets but not doing anything.
but he had a good game against the Vikings. Obviously the first game, and then everything else has been meh. I just think it's kind of unlucky. Like I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of Sammy. I don't know. I
He's
don't.
like he's like DeAndre Hopkins at the start of the season where they're targeting him a shit ton, but it's all like 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. So they're like worthless targets.
Well, it's fine. It's like he's even getting some intermediate ones. He's just not breaking away like he did in the first game. He hasn't gotten any like almost any red zone targets. I think I've seen like two.
Yeah.
He was injured for a few games, but I mean, if you're averaging 9, 10 freaking targets from Patrick Mahomes, I hear people are like, you got to play Miko Hardman, blah blah blah. I get it. He comes in
One
for
touch, man.
yeah. He comes in. They have a design
One
play for him.
touch.
You could get a 60-yard touchdown. But that target's coming from Patrick Mahomes. That's why you're arguing it's so valuable. Sammy
Yeah.
Watkins is getting 10 of those. Like you kind of have to play him, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd play him over Mike Williams just
Yeah.
because of the target volume.
Uh,
And I mean, God, who's their top corner in LA? Well, anyways, he's going to be on Tyreek Hill. I think he's actually in the past. Don't fucking quote me on this, but I think he's actually done a decent job at shutting down Tyreek Hill in their other games. But
let's look at Tyreek Hill versus the Chargers. Reminder: this game is in Mexico
maybe it
City.
was only like one game. Yeah, the turf's probably been fucking awful.
Awful. So that might lend itself to offense. Or yeah, Tyreek Hill against LA is not. Well, the first game last year in 2018, I'm almost positive. Who is the freaking? Oh my God, Chargers
Barrett?
cornerback. No, he's on the 49ers, right? No, right? Yeah, Casey Hayward. Duh.
Casey Hayward. Jesus.
Casey
Yeah,
Hayward
first game
was
looks like he
hurt.
got roasted.
No, he was hurt that game, and then the second
okay.
time they played, he only got 6.6 points on 7 targets. So that kind of
Yeah.
lends itself to what you're saying. All right, moving on. San Francisco's backfield. This is where you insult that or insert the old man meme where he like doesn't know. He's just shrugging his shoulders.
Oh yeah, sitting there at his place.
I mean, Raheem Mostert questionable. Matt Breida probably not going to play. Tevin Coleman, meh, who knows? I mean, they have such a good matchup, but
No, Arizona's actually not been like.
not been horrible against the run. But
Yeah, they gotten better after their first couple games. They were, and I mean, last time Tevin Coleman played Arizona just 2 weeks ago, he only got 12 carries for 23 yards and 2 receptions for 13 yards. Not a solid game. But I'm feeling like this one, if I had to lean like 5 points to like mid 20s, I'd probably lean more towards mid 20s. Just because I think the Cardinals are not really going to be able to score with their horrible offensive line. But then again, the Cardinals did make a good game of it last time, which is why I'm still questioning if I should play Kenyon Drake in any lineups over the guys I have because he got 27 points in that first game. But I think David Johnson will be out there too. So, but I think Mostert is questionable too, right?
yeah, Coleman's fine. His thing was a personal problem. I'm reading right
Yeah.
now, so he's fine. Mostert's very questionable. I think if you have to decide now, the only one I'm playing is Coleman. I'm just not going to deal with it. I don't think it's,
Yeah.
like you said, it's not that plus of a matchup where you can be like, well, if I play Mostert, he's going to get me 20 points no matter what.
Yeah. I'll play Coleman for sure, but Mostert was looking like a good play if he wasn't like questionable. I mean, I guess he could still play and do really well, but last week against the Seahawks, he looked really good every time he touched the ball.
All right.
So that's unfortunate.
While we're on the topic, with Kenyon Drake probably being the starter right now, would you play him against the 49ers defense? Whose run defense I don't think is that good, but I haven't looked up the numbers to back that up.
Yeah, he scored 27 points against them the first game he was on the Cardinals, and I mean that was without David Johnson and Chase Edmonds, and he was basically the only guy out there. I remember watching that game and seeing him like motioning to the sideline, like take me out
Huh?
for a play, and then they were just
Dude,
like wave him back, and he's like, "Fuck, okay, I'll go back out there. Just don't make me run it again." So he got a lot of work that game. Got like 27 points and half point PPR. I think he's startable. It's just I would just be nervous. The thing I'm nervous about is how much volume is like is David Johnson actually going to do anything today, or is he? I almost think they should just fucking put David Johnson on the IR for the rest of the season.
well, I
I
want
guess they
like
got their bye coming up, but
I don't know how much dead cap they have with David Johnson right now, but if it's not a lot, he's might get cut. I think after the season, because first of all,
yeah,
Kenyon Drake's so freaking good. I've been saying this for 2 years now. You guys all heard in the preseason when I was talking about him. He is one of the best running backs in the league. He's kind of like a guy situation where it's like his talent is so up there. If he ever for guy stays healthy, and Kenyon Drake had the opportunity, and you saw it when he had the one opportunity. I mean, the two times where he's really been put in a situation to succeed. Miami at the end of that one season when he broke out, and then here with the Cardinals, he's played incredible. I don't think there's any argument.
yeah, he's one of those guys that is super fast and it like hits the hole so hard that it's just like okay, if he finds that hole, he's gone. He's got really good vision too. He's kind of one of those players that will sit there and jump around a little bit too much, but I mean, it pays off for him.
Yeah. All right. Games of the week. Ba-dum-ba-bum-bum. Games of the week. There's your little drop. All right. Baltimore, Houston should be Sunday night football, but it's not.
Flex
So
that shit into Sunday night football, you
I,
morons.
I can't do anything about it. So
Instead of Rams Bears, that's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be such a gross game to
Jared Goff
watch.
against the Bears defense and Mitchell Trubisky playing in the NFL. That's
Yeah,
gonna be great. Oh
I
man.
mean, and the Rams lines look so bad. It's gonna be. They better just like triple team Khalil Mack. All right. Anyways, the game I'm previewing is Baltimore and Houston. The game of the week for sure. Definitely should have been flexing the Sunday night, or at least like the fucking 1 o'clock game, so we don't have to deal with like 8 other games going on at the same time. Just because I
Yeah,
want to see like every play from this game, but that's probably how it's going to be on Red Zone today. It's
I
just
was gonna say
90% this
this game.
game. It's just it's going to be like nothing else on, just only this game. Um, but I think obviously the biggest part is Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson, and man, Lamar Jackson's fucking turning the NFL on its head. I'm just nervous that like he's somehow he like doesn't take very big hits, which is weird because he still kind of like puts his body on the line sometimes. Scares the shit out of me. Maybe we'll see RG3 at some point this season. But Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson probably going to be in the top five both for quarterback this week. Carlos Hyde, definitely startable. Mark Ingram, I would start over just about. I mean, he's the best running back play in this game, but neither of them are like high end players. I'd probably say flex considerations. Mark Ingram, you can play probably as a safe RB2. Carlos Hyde, I'd probably play as a flex. And then we got our wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins should. Uh, Marlon Humphrey is back now, right?
Yes.
So that'll be interesting to see. I think he's still. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to go off, but I always think Hopkins is going to go off, and he's only really gone off a couple times. um, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep him wrapped up. This is I'm starting now that I'm like talking about all these players. I thought it was just going to be like one of those crazy shootouts. I'm suddenly getting the feeling that it's going to be like a fucking 14-17 game. and it's going to be gross.
I don't get that feeling about this game
I guess
because
the Texans defense is bad enough.
Houston's not going to be able to stop them at all. Like you could worry a little bit about Baltimore stopping Houston, but I don't think like if it comes down to it, if they would just throw the ball to Hopkins every single play, they probably would be able to drive down the field.
Yeah, they should do that, but they don't for some reason.
I think that I mean you're starting Ingram. I think you could start Hyde or Duke Johnson if you needed to and you're in a pinch. You're obviously starting Hopkins. The two interesting ones for me are: would you start Hollywood Brown now that he's active and Kenny Stills?
Hollywood Brown, I would start. He's one of those guys that can take one of those catches to the end zone just because he's so fast. He'll just get behind everyone, and he's looked. I mean, he hasn't been as he totally broke out at the start of the season, then slowed the fuck down. But last week, 4 targets, 4 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. That's what you're gonna get with him, I think. And so I think, and that was against Cincinnati. He probably wasn't even. I mean, the starters got off the field in like the third quarter of that game.
Yeah.
So I think he's a pretty solid play. I'd play him as a wide receiver too this week against the Texans. Bad secondary and bad defense overall. Kenny Stills, I just never really trust him. uh, he's gonna get. Who's his corner matchup? I don't remember the other guy, but I think he'll be startable. I would
I'm putting him back in my lamp over Eckler. I'm
I'd
gonna see
throw
what
him in a
happens.
flex, I guess. I wouldn't confidently throw him in a flex. I would probably have someone else in there. Like, all right, let's see this. Kenny Stills or Demarius Thomas against Washington.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah,
PPR Demarius Thomas standard. I'm gonna go Stills.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, he has the touchdown upside, but in the deeper routes, but I just don't know if I really trust him all that well to put him in my lineup. I'd probably play a bunch of people over him. Um, lastly, tight ends. I think both of them. Well, Mark
Yeah,
Andrews definitely. Darren Fells, I would play too.
yeah, I'd play them both.
He's a Fells would be the lower end if you're looking for maybe like a streaming option. He's probably not on the waiver wire for anyone anymore. But and then the kickers, who gives a shit?
They're both great.
Yeah,
All
Fairbairn's
right,
good. Tucker's a god.
moving to my anti-game of the week, and that's Cincinnati Oakland because
The negative game.
well, no one's gonna want to watch this game. I think it is littered with fantasy points. Starting
Oh,
with
yeah.
the obvious side, Derek Carr, top 5 QB this week, as long as it doesn't get too out of control, I think. But
I don't think it will.
yeah. Um,
Actually, I don't know.
Josh Jacobs has been basically my start of the week at running back for like half the season, and that is not going to change against Cincinnati. I've been banging this guy's drum forever. I'm so pissed I have him in like no fantasy leagues.
Bang that drum.
Moving down, Tyrell Williams, you can start him. Not super confident about Hunter Renfro just because they use Zay Jones, they use Keelan Doss, they use Davis, but I think his snap count has been pretty steady at 50%. Derek Carr seems to like to target him, so I wouldn't feel horrible about starting him, but I'd be more excited about starting Darren Waller. I think he has a bounce back game after 2 kind of disappointing plays. I think you very possibly could see a repeat of the Green Bay game with 8 targets, which should have been 3 touchdowns, 150 yards. He might be a weak winner. But moving on to the 0-9 Bengals.
Woo.
You can start Joe Mixon against Oakland. The Bengals have shown they are going to run the ball no matter what the score is. Oakland isn't great at stopping the run. And that translates to lots of points for Joe Mixon. He's probably going to get 30 carries this game. And I just can't see him averaging less than 3.5, so that's at least 10 points. I like that has to be his floor this week. Is 10 points.
Yeah.
Play your Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Auden Tate. Play them both. Now I understand Ryan Finley, probably not a good quarterback. All right, 16 for 30, 167, one TD, one interception. They're going against Oakland. They have no secondary. Like, it's pretty pitiful.
You play everyone against Oakland. You play everyone against the Bengals.
I mean, he did. He didn't do good against Baltimore, but he didn't do the worst thing I've ever seen against Baltimore. And Baltimore is top 6, top 7 against the pass. You're going against the 32nd ranked team against the pass right now.
What do you think about Alex Erickson?
I wouldn't go that far. That's too much to support.
With Finley, I wouldn't go that far. But if
Boyd
Dalton was still there,
if Boyd was out, I would
him.
go Erickson.
Yeah.
Then the tight ends, I don't know who starts in Cincinnati anymore, so just don't touch them.
Tyler Eifert. They have my boy Drew Sample from UW.
Yeah. I think so. I think this is gonna have a lot of fantasy points. I would be flexing Tyler Boyd Auden Tate they might even be on, especially Auden Tate might be on your waivers, and you're thinking like, crap, I need to start somebody. I got freaking Raheem Mostert might not even play or something like that. Go ahead, I would throw him in there. So this is my anti-game of the week. It'll be fun to watch. Let's move on to our next segment.
It's not going to be a good game, but it'll be good for fantasy.
I recently did the ESPN playoff machine, and I have the Raiders winning out and going 12-4.
Oh Jesus, they're their second half team. I actually have them as a good second half team too. But
the only game I think they probably lose that I gave them the benefit of the doubt for no reason whatsoever is Kansas City, obviously, but it's possible.
It in the black hole?
I
don't think it even matters.
No, it's in Kansas City, but I just believe in Gruden. And they could do what you need to do against Kansas City, which is run up the middle, which not even the one team that couldn't for some reason was the Minnesota Vikings. All right, anyway.
Because they could only run to the outside.
Exactly. And they had, Chris Jones just destroyed our guard. He literally won Kansas City the game. Who are we starting? We're going to start with the quarterbacks. Not last week because there's no episode last week, but the week before, Kramer and I both went 2-2. This week, in our lineup for QBs, we got Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. I'll throw in Deshaun Watson. Who has the best week out of those four? I want to make this one tough because they're all in plus matchups and they're all really good.
All right. Dak against Detroit. Mahomes against the Chargers. Lamar against Houston. And I think I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson here. I think Dak against Detroit is a pretty good matchup, but I think with Matt Stafford being out, they won't have to do as much. Mahomes against the Chargers, it just seems like it'll still be a good performance, I think, from Mahomes, but that defensive line of the Chargers with Bosa is probably going to get to him every once in a while and maybe make him feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it's in Mexico and shit turf, so people are probably going to be falling on all their cuts.
Yeah.
Lamar against the terrible Houston defense, and his rushing ability just gives him a plus against anyone immediately. And I would put him just slightly above Deshaun too. So
spoiler, I'm going Lamar too. Just if you want my reasoning, just replay the last minute of Kramer talking.
Yeah,
hit it pretty spot on. So next, running backs: Devin Singletary against Miami, Mixon against Oakland, or Mark Ingram against Houston.
Oh man, I believe in Singletary so much, but last time he played they played Miami, he didn't do shit.
Nope.
But that was like kind of right before his coming out party. And last week he only got 8 carries. He's super involved in the passing game, though. Then we got Mixon against the Raiders. He's gonna, like we said, get a ton of volume. It's a good volume play with the shitty quarterback. Then Ingram. Ingram could totally get 2 touchdowns in this game. I'm gonna call the breakout for Singletary. I think he gets 120 yards and a TD. It's scary though. The more I think about it, I want to go Mixon. I'm going Singletary.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with. I'm gonna go with Mark Ingram. I think he gets the 2 touchdown game we saw earlier in the season. So
That's gonna be like it's gonna be like 20 carries for 80 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah. So you're going with your final.
Yeah, Singletary.
Singletary. Okay. Moving on, wide receivers. Terry McLaurin against. They're playing someone easy. The Jets.
Jets, yeah.
Jamison Crowder against Washington. And Marvin Jones against the Dallas defense.
I think it's between Crowder and McLaurin here because Marvin.
All right, let's make this a little bit harder. Kenny Golladay.
Kenny G. That does make it harder. I'd probably just looking at it off the bat, man. How has Terry McLaurin played with? Has he been good with Haskins?
No.
There's the one game. Yeah, 3 for 51. He's been slowing down recently.
And that's all because of Haskins. In the Minnesota Vikings game, he was in the first half with Case game 3 for 5 for 38 yards. So he was on pace for 10 targets, 6 catches, and 70 yards. And then Haskins came in, had him open 2 times for a 50-yard play and missed him both times.
Classic. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably start Crowder over McLaurin just because Crowder's been like a target fucking fiend.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington is a definite plus matchup, but Kenny Golladay makes it a little bit more interesting going up against the Dallas defense. It still scares me with fucking Driscoll throwing the ball.
I can't believe he lost that game against Chicago.
I know. It's almost sad that they were like in that game the whole time. That's how bad the Bears are, and then the Rams are gonna lose to him too. I think I'm gonna go Crowder here.
I'm gonna go Terry McLaurin. He's just such a good wide receiver. He's gonna be so open that if Haskins just throws the ball in his general vicinity and makes it catchable a couple times this game, he might be the number 1 wide receiver in the league. That's how bad the Jets are.
If he throws to him a couple times and gets some good completions and it starts to click,
that too.
I feel like it's gonna be like a fucking landslide after that of targets, but he has to throw to him first and complete it.
All right, last we're going with the tight ends. We got Gerald Everett, Jason Wynn, Dallas Goedert, or OJ Howard.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is a tight ends. That's the whole point of it.
I do like 2 of my dynasty tight ends in here: Dallas Goedert and Everett. I do like Everett in most matchups. I think he's pretty much a set it and forget it tight end at this point with how he's been playing. But against the Bears, it's a little sketchy. I think actually he'll still probably get Goff likes to dump it off to tight ends not very far away from the line. And I could just see him getting 8 catches for 50 yards and maybe a touchdown. So nothing crazy good or anything. But Witten, who's Witten going against?
Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. I just feel like they're going to run the ball all game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that exciting, but Witten could still get himself a touchdown. Goddard's kind of a touchdown upside guy right now, too. They play New England. I think it actually might be Goddard's game this week, because they're going to focus on taking Zach Ertz away because Alshon Jeffrey's not playing. So I think it could be a game where I think it's a Miles Sanders and a Dallas Goedert game this week. if it happens, if they do well. And then OJ Howard plays
The Saints.
the Saints. God. Can we go back to that OJ Howard? Well, I guess he got 7 targets last week, 4 for 47 and a
I'm
TD.
going OJ Howard. A lot of people are like, okay, he played Arizona. Of course he's gonna have a good game against Arizona, and now he's gonna go back to what he was doing before. He runs so many routes. There's no. I mean, the one thing that's went against this argument that I was developing earlier is Marshawn Lattimore's hurt, so Mike Evans is going to be open. Less targets for OJ Howard, but they're going to throw the ball 40 times this game because the Saints are going to be in it because it's going to be impossible for them not to score against Tampa Bay. Okay, if Winston throws the ball 40 times, even if 15 targets each to Godwin and go to Godwin, go to Mike Evans, 5 targets to Ronald Jones, you still got 5 targets to OJ Howard. And OJ Howard, it's not like he's
Perriman.
Oh God. I can't. I think this more has to do with Gerald Everett, Wynn, and Goddard have terrible weeks because I don't think Goddard does anything against New England. I think people see that of they're gonna take away the best guy. Bill Belichick's smart enough to take away Goddard too. Like he's gonna be able to take away both of those guys and make Wentz have to throw to Nelson Aguilar and whoever the fuck else they have at wide receiver right now.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are really going to struggle to move the ball. That's why I think they should really try and use Miles Sanders a ton this game. I think if they lean heavily on Miles Sanders
is actually the play.
If they lean heavily on him, I think it would be very beneficial to them. But let's see.
And then Gerald Everett, Chicago, you can use the tight end.
Yeah.
But I'm just picking OJ. Like, I think between him and OJ Howard is actually going to be very similar scores.
Yeah, I'll go Everett. He already put it in there, so I just won't make you change
it. All right. Let me read off the inactives, and then we'll go ahead and make a DraftKings lineup, which I'm actually struggling this week because it's one of those weeks where I feel like there's 50 different good lineups, which usually means I don't want to play because only one of those is going to win you money, and there's so many options. Falcons, big guys that are out. Devontae Freeman, Austin Hooper's out for a month. Panthers, Ross Cockrell is out. The cornerback, which I'm pretty sure he was starting. I would have to look at their depth chart. Texans, Will Fuller is out. Bradley Roby is out. Vernon Hargreaves is out. So Ravens play Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, he's going to feast.
No one really of note for the Ravens is out. Cowboys, Connor Williams hasn't been playing. Nobody else. Lions, Matthew Stafford's the big one. He's going to be out probably another couple weeks. Deshaun Hand, the defensive end, is out. Yeah, I think Zeke's a good play this week. A very, very good play this week. Jaguars at Colts. Jaguars really no injuries. So moving on to Colts, T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell still out. Zach Pascal might have a good game. This is what I'm talking about DraftKings. It's like, do I play Zach Pascal or do I play some other cheap wide receiver that could go off this week?
Pascal's probably gonna get Boye, so I probably wouldn't play him.
That's a good point.
I think I have him sitting in my dynasty roster. So
Bills, no one of note. Dolphins, no one of note.
TJ Yeldon's not of note.
Broncos, Jeff Hireman's out, which just goes more to my play Noah Fant this week against the Vikings because that's the one place Brandon Allen's going to be able to exploit. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the Vikings went from 2 weeks ago, they literally had no one on the injury report. Literally 0 people on the report. To Anthony Harris, Adam Thielen, Josh Klein, Linval Joseph, all out. So Philip Lindsay's apparently getting a lot of the carries. I'd play Philip Lindsay. I'd play Noah Fant with Linval out. Josh Klein, kind of a big deal. Not so much, but Adam Thielen. This might be a trap game for the Vikings because I was really hoping we had Thielen against this good defense.
Against fucking Brandon Allen.
All right, yeah, if we lose, I'm never going to hear the end of it from Hunter. So please don't. Saints, Buccaneers. Marshawn Lattimore, as I said, is out. Andres Pete is out. This game's going to be closer than people think. Like, I realize the Saints just lost to Atlanta, so
Yeah.
they're not expecting a whole lot. Well, I think Tampa Bay might win it. I think Tampa actually does well
This
rest of
is
the
gonna be
season.
one of those games that come down to fucking the witching hour last couple drives, and then Jameis is gonna throw a stupid interception or something like that.
Well, that's every week. It's just can they overcome it, basically. And then Jets, CJ Mosley is still out. I think they're just not going to play him rest of the season, so he doesn't get hurt. And yeah, Chris Thompson's out for Washington, like we said. I think Geis is playable. Hopefully, I don't eat my words on that. We'll see what happens. All right. DraftKings lineup. Okay. Let's.
Making money.
As you guys can see, my balance is $86, and that is thanks to my lineup that would have won me so much money if I put in the Millionaire Maker, but I didn't. And now I want to beat myself up.
How much did you start with?
I started
How much
this
have you
year
put
with
in?
$17, and I haven't put any money inside that 17, so I've quadrupled my money basically.
Nice. It's because all those deep cuts I'm giving you.
Yeah. I just don't have the balls of AJ to put like thousands of dollars into daily fantasy. I like.
Stock market, the daily fantasy of real life.
I actually have a really good idea for an app, but we'll talk about that later. not on stream.
Not on the stream.
All right, I think we start the running backs because there's so many good options this week. Which ones do we go with? All right, Christian
Are they
McCaffrey.
finally valuing him so high enough?
No,
It hasn't
McCaffrey's
changed
still
much
at
for me yet.
10,500. Zeke's at 9,000. I would love to play him. Dalvin Cook's a great play every week. It doesn't matter if it's the Denver defense. I think Kamara even's a decent play because of the pass work. Fournette's probably a decent play. Josh Jacobs is an incredible play. Mark Ingram's a great play. You got so many. Joe Mixon.
Davis Murray's way the fuck up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him. That's one of the not great plays. So who do you
Yeah.
want to go with?
Let's go with your boy,
Who?
Josh.
Josh Jacobs. Okay, he's in every one of my other lineups, but we can do it with this one too.
He's gotta take him. Let's see. I guess I could like
Or Zeke.
go on to DraftKings and actually look at it myself, but I don't have a thing set up, so I can't really look at it. Never mind. I'll just stay on the stream.
I want to play Zeke over Christian, but it's so hard to do. I think Christian McCaffrey's legitimately gained 40 points against Atlanta's defense.
Yeah, probably. I agree. I say McCaffrey is our other guy.
All right. One thing I found hard this week is DST. I want to get that out of the way because I usually go with a very cheap option, but none of the very cheap options I think you can do this week. Maybe the Dolphin? No, you don't want to do that. I think you got to go all the way to like the Jets at 3,100.
Yeah, the Redskins might be interesting, I guess.
Well, the Panthers at 3,000 against Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about
Saints against Tampa Bay for
that. That's a good,
21.
good point. Jameis Winston.
Yeah, he's gonna throw picks. He'll get points, but he's gonna throw picks, get sacked, do stupid shit. Probably throw. He's one of those guys that it's possible that he can throw a fumble.
All right, let's go with a stack at quarterback and wide receiver. So what stack are you
Michael
looking
Thomas, Drew Brees,
at? Really?
or Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown.
Drew
think
Brees
Michael
scared me
Thomas is-
last week, but
Such a hard fucking play right now.
oh, Michael Thomas is 9,900. We
damn.
can't do that stack.
Damn. Lamar in Hollywood then.
Lamar. Oops. Sorry if that was very loud on the stream. Okay, Marquise Brown isn't too bad. 4,100 per player left. This will be interesting. We'll get our tight end out of the way. I like Noah Fant this week.
Is he cheap?
Pretty cheap. He's 3,700. Dallas Goddard's 3,200.
OJ Howard's at 36
Six.
there.
Yeah.
Your boy. No Fant though. Um, yeah, it's not beautiful.
No.
I guess if you're picking someone at like 3,600, you're only looking for him to get like 9, 10 points.
Yeah.
If I had to pick someone to get a touchdown out of all these guys, fuck.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I mean, Darren Fells even maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not awful. But what did Greg Olson do last week? Didn't he like get a shit ton of targets and did well last week?
yeah, he did. I hate playing Greg Olson,
I
but
know, me too. I don't really like Greg Olson. But it's again Atlanta, or we could do the. Oh, never mind. That's gonna be George Kittle.
we'll,
So.
we'll go Greg Olson. Moving to our wide receivers, we got to go very, very cheap. I don't think we're gonna be able to make this work. We might have to move some guys around, but we'll try. First guy that's super cheap that I like is Deebo Samuel. With Sanders, he's probably gonna go out. Second super cheap guy we talked about is Auden Tate, maybe.
He's at 4,200.
Yeah. We also have Demaryius Thomas right here at 3,900.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No.
Sticking the flames with Demaryius Thomas again.
Yeah, with Sam Darnold. Well, there you go. Now we got $4,600 for a flex.
How much is Miles Sanders? He's probably more than that, but
Sanders. Miles Sanders is 4,100. Ooh.
That's interesting. Like I said, I think if the Eagles are going to have any chance, I think it's going to have to lean heavily on Miles Sanders. I would be interested in that.
You want to go Miles Sanders?
Let's do it. Then we could put some money into someone else too.
Yeah. We can.
Maybe Demaryius or Greg.
Well, I like. So, I know he's coming off. I don't know. Maybe I should read more about the injury. I really like D.D. Westbrook, but I am playing him in my other stuff, so.
I like D.D. too. It'd be a little bit risky to play him his first game back with Nick Foles' first game back too. But where's Brian Hill right there? Where's Brian Hill?
Hill's pretty expensive. 4,800. I guess it's not too crazy. But we can't put Brian Hill with Jacobs, McCaffrey, and Sanders.
Oh, that's right.
Let's see if there's anyone at tight end we can upgrade to. 3,900. We can go to 4,400. No, not really. Saints D. Kind of like the Saints D over. Yeah.
Good big.
We could just stick with them at 500 left.
Seems like a waste though.
It
What wide
does.
receivers are there?
So we can upgrade from Debo to Didi. That's pretty much it.
Waiting for my screen to update here. There we go. So we have 548. That's you can put the Beasles in there.
God, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, would you play Didi or Demaryius, or is that right outside the range? That's right outside the range.
Yeah.
I feel confident in Debo. Is Patrick Peterson still hurt? I think he's like out for the season.
Patrick Peterson ready for 49ers rematch despite calf issue.
Well, even if he's healthy, he's probably gonna get roasted.
He's in.
Yeah, I'd probably still. He got fucking roasted in whatever, like 2 games ago
Mhm.
against Sanders. So I think Debo's fine. I guess if we would upgrade, we'd be probably upgrading Demarius Thomas.
We could
But
go
none of
Demarius
the
to
guys-
DD and then move to a different tight end.
Or Demarius to Auden Tate. Yeah. Demarius to DD.
DD.
And then we can put in Darren Fells. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just hope for TDs. All right. There we go. Lamar, Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey, Hollywood Brown, Deebo Samuels, D.D. Westbrook, Darren Fells. A lot of D's in there. Miles Sanders, Saints D. Actually, I like this more than most of the stuff I've made so far. Let's join some stuff. Load lineup. Let's waste some money.
Put it all on Neptune.
Always play a tournament play with this $1.
It is a pretty weird lineup too. Like I feel like not a lot of people will have the. Oh, I guess Christian McCaffrey and everyone's gonna have, but
Yeah.
we have some weird players otherwise. So
All right. Well, I think that's going to conclude this week. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back next week. I think Tony's going to be here live. Maybe pull out the camera, do some
shit.
crazy stuff. We'll take a shot every time Kramer says something stupid. Just
Every
kidding.
time I
I don't
say
want to die.
yeah.
Hey, we'll take a shot every time AJ starts running the water or doing something extremely loud in the background.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Later.